What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? What you gonna do, man? It's hey, man. It's just not the end of the world. But that's some shit that you gonna have to. That's definitely some shit that you gonna have to go through, man. That's definitely something you got to go through. Let me pull up the pivot fade right quick. Let me pull up the pivot. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? Pain, yeah, yeah, a little bit of pain. Sure feels like the end of the world. Nah, it ain't the end of the world. It ain't the end of the world. It is some pain involved. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel better about this game than I did the first one. But that's not helping. That's not helping. But like they just have so much optionality, bro. Like um, shit, dude. They just got so much. Shea foul being discussing the free throw disparity. Well, I don't. I'm not really gonna talk about the free throw disparity, to be honest with you. But what actually was it? 35 to 2. To be fair, I will look at the game again as I always do. As I always do. But I didn't see during the game where there was a lot of calls where I'm like, hey, y'all gotta call that shit. Like that's a foul. In the first half, we took what 30 some threes. That again does not mean that we're not getting fouled. But I gotta rewatch the game. But at surface value, 35 to 12 is crazy. But we were shooting a lot of threes in the first half. That's what they were giving us. But it is what it is. So yeah, I told you the worst bench in the league, bro. Pritchard and Hauser can't have these games against an OKC type team. Like they just can't have these type of games. And the refs were terrible. They got every call. Then the Thunder, like I don't know. It was that's what they do. That's what they top player do. But no, I'm gonna get into this game as early as I can. I'm gonna get into this game as early as I can. But so just like the first game where the Celtics were beating them by double digits in the first half, I believe, and the Celtics had that double big lineup of KP and Cornette where they got some stuff on OKC. I believe one of the bigs didn't play that game. I don't think Chet was there that game, but the Celtics were able to get shit off in the double big in the first half, and the Thunder completely scrapped their defensive scheme in the second half. Completely scrapped it. That third quarter was bad for us offensively, and the fourth quarter was also bad. I think it was the fourth quarter where we scored 12 points. It was a season low. I don't like complaining about zebras. That OKC defense shit. That's why I don't really like care for. Like I'm not gonna say I don't care for the foul calls because I see how good their defense is, and it's predicated on them being physical. So they should get some foul calls. They should, but Mark Daigneault, bro. I gotta give him this cause like, yo, he has a stranglehold on this team. And he knows the buttons to push. And I also think Joe Mazzulla had a phenomenal coaching game. I think Joe Mazzulla had a great coaching game. From him putting them in zone, like hold up. They went zone against us. Why would you go zone against the Celtics so they can shoot threes, right? They went zone against us. If they can go zone against us, we should be able to go zone against them because they're not a great 3-point shooting team. They're not a great we need KP for them. I said no. Yes, we need KP for them, and for especially how they guarded us in the first half, where they were gapping and forcing us to shoot threes, which the Celtics would do. We will do that every single time. If we have open threes, we're gonna take the threes, and we hit a lot of them, right? But what we weren't able to do the entire game, the post entries were so hard. A part of having Jaylen Brown, a part of having Tatum, especially for Jaylen Brown in this game, a part of his ineffectiveness is that a lot of his scoring opportunities had to come off the dribble, where it's not just 1-2 dribbles. It's not just him straight line driving. It's him trying to do a spin move. It's them turning him. So the post is an outlet where he doesn't have to do all that shit, and he can just use his muscle and use his strength. Celtics, one, have been bad in post entries this whole season. Two, the Thunder fight like shit on all of that. If they're over top, there's somebody coming from behind, so you can't lob it in. Case and Wallace, even Isaiah, like all of them fight for the angle on the post, bro. So it's just so hard. I don't like, yo, Nick, this is off topic, but did you see last game when PB was on LeBron full court? Oh yes, I did. I forgot to tell you that. It was kind of similar to what, bro. I saw Chet like guarding the ball. So I don't know if that was probably like some zone shit that they was in, but Chet was at the top of the key guarding the ball. And that's when like Jaylen Brown cooked them. But it was just like, it was crazy. We just can't beat OKC in the series by just shooting threes. PP and Luke are unplayable against Luke. Hold on, baby. I thought Luke was alright. I thought Luke was okay. I thought Luke, I might be tripping again. I gotta watch it again. But I like, okay, especially energy wise, like we needed a lot of the shit that he did. We need a lot of shit that he did. I'm not saying he was like he's an X factor against OKC. I thought Luke was okay in this game. They allowed us to shoot open threes. Yeah, that's what, like in the first half, they gave us that. In the second half, they was like, okay, yeah, y'all not shooting threes anymore. Like, we're gonna try to not let y'all shoot threes anymore. Like, the fact that they have the lineup, the fact that they have like the optionality to legit switch their whole defensive game plan, half to half, is amazing, bro. Thunder simply played with more speed and energy. We let them get comfortable. Yeah, I felt in that third quarter, defensively, we really like started to man up defensively. Like that was inspiring, bro. Like we were fighting for loose balls. We was getting up into their chest. Like we was doing a lot of shit in that third quarter. The one thing I didn't like was how we had a lot of momentum shifting plays, but didn't build on them. So there was a play where Pritchard picked up Shea 94 feet and he caused a turnover. And something that happened where that didn't turn into a run, right? Jaylen Brown did I wouldn't be nice to Jaylen, but he was horrible in this game. The play where Jaylen Brown like did the spin move and turned it over and they scored, that was also a huge momentum killer. Tatum got to play better in the fourth. That was also something that I was gonna say. I didn't know how to phrase it, and I didn't want to be too harsh on Tatum because like what's funny is like we put this team around Tatum, right? Where you can't really double team him. And if he has an off night, that means that, hey, we got Jaylen Brown. Hey, we got Kristaps Porzingis, of course, who we didn't have in this game. We have Derek White, who played incredible, right? We have Jrue Holiday, who is still trying to come back. We have Al Horford, right? For as good as this team is, against the top teams, Tatum still has to backpack us, bro. For as good as this team is, top to bottom on paper, against the best teams in the league, Tatum still has to backpack us. The last Cavs game, what did he have? 46, 16 and 9? In this game, there was no other effective ball handler in this game that I trust. Probably except for Derek White. Probably. But Tatum legit had to do everything in this game. So, yes, Tatum does have to play better in the fourth. I think that is also him being more assertive in the fourth. I don't give a fuck where you at. Go get the basketball. So that's the only thing I'll say about Tatum in this game. Like, no matter how good our team is on paper, he still has to backpack us against the best teams in the league. In this game, him and Derek White were the only ones I trusted to handle the ball in this game. Pritchard, the bench has to score better. Pritchard cannot have these games against these type of guys. And Pritchard, I thought did an okay job on Shea, right? I thought he did of course he's giving up some size, but like his lateral quickness, and he does not care if he gets crossed. He don't care about none of that shit. Pritchard did okay, but it's just is what it is. But it's just we need his offense. Just got on my break for work. What was our downfall? I would say containing the drive. But there's like I can't really say there's one thing, honestly. I can't really say there was one thing to this game where we just like that was it. You know? Probably the bench. I'll probably say the bench because OKC gets contributions from everybody, right? J Dub's out, Caruso's out, Kenrich comes in, plays his ass off, hits some threes, right? So probably our bench. I would probably say our bench. Luke was solid. He left it all out there. He definitely did. Always no shows, not gonna lie. What you mean? You talking about Brown? Luke got killed on defense, wasn't rebounding at all. Luke, hold on, gang. Hold on. Luke was rebounding, cuz. I can't let you do that. Hold on. I might be tripping. Oh, he only had 4 rebounds. He had 4 offensive. Okay. He had 4 offensive rebounds, so it looked better. But, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. He had 4 offensive rebounds, so it just looked better. But I think Luke's energy was great in this game. But yeah, nah. And like Hauser hit 1 3. It was a 3 that we did need. It was a clutch 3, but like, man, we pay him to do one thing. He has turned into a solid defender. You know, he can put the ball on the floor a little bit, but we pay him to do one thing. He needs to do that in the biggest games. Just like Horford comes to play in the biggest games, I need Hauser to hit open threes. Like, he's not shooting horrible shots. He's a specialist that gets majority open shots. He just needs to hit those shots. Brown had a terrible game. Yeah. I feel like maybe he's getting tired with all the minutes he's been playing. Who? I'm sorry, I'm late because I was talking a lot, so I'm sorry if I might have synced with the questions. There were a couple times this game where we had a great defensive play and then immediately turned it over. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Like the momentum, the Celtics had a lot of momentum, like run starting type of plays, and they never built on them. Again, the Pritchard play where he forced the turnover on Shea. He guarded him 94 feet. They got a turnover, right? Something happened. They didn't get that run, right? We had scored. We stopped them. Jaylen Brown gets the basketball. He runs up the court, does a spin move, turnover. What the fuck are we doing? I just need Tatum as a ball handler or screen at the top of the key when nothing else is working. Like, it's that simple, honestly. Like, in the fourth, I'm not even going to say he needed to play better. He just needed to look for himself more. He needed to insert himself into the offense more, right? How many? Let me see. Like 33, 8 and 8, 52%. 4 for 13 from 3. Let me see fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, he had 4 points in the fourth. He was 1 for 6. So I mean, he shot the ball. He was 1 for 6. So I mean, yeah, he gotta play better. He gotta play better. SJ was on the bench for 4 minute stretch. We were struggling against the bench. No, yo. That was a big part of this game. There was no stretch in this game when Shea went out where they felt Shea was out, like where the Celtics made them feel like Shea was out. There was no point in the game where we took advantage of Shea being off the court. With Shea off the court, they never felt that shit. And I could probably see right now. Hold on, let me lineups. All right, so OKC's best lineup. Well, their best lineup was their starting team, of course. Our starting 5 was a -4, probably due to like Brown shit. Our best lineup was Tatum, Cornette, Brown, Pritchard, and Hauser. It's so funny how plus minus works because how the fuck is Al Horford not a part of our best lineup? But yeah, it was kind of no. Shea, when he came out of the game, they still controlled the game, and that's not how that's supposed to work. Another thing that Joe Mazzulla did well, I was lobbying for Tatum to not sit in the fourth quarter at all, right? Because they have they have a set pattern to where Tatum sits for some time in the fourth quarter and then he comes in. There was the first 2 minutes of that fourth quarter, Isaiah Hartenstein was dominating the game. They put Chet and Hartenstein on the floor at the same time. I don't think Shea was on the court. And Hartenstein got like 6 straight free throws. I mean, like controlling the offense in the dribble. That's another thing, bro. Hartenstein, when Shea is out, bro, Hartenstein controls the offense because they don't have like another crazy handler. Because even like J-Dub's not a crazy handler. He's a great player, but he's not like a tween. I got it on the string. I'm commanding the offense. That guy's like their hub is Isaiah Hartenstein when Shea's off the floor. They run everything through him. So when you see Chet, a 7-footer, coming off the Chicago and he's getting the handoff, Hartenstein is screening, he's a great screener. He's screening, dropping the ball off, and he's rolling. He got like 6 straight free throws, and Jones was like, yeah, nah. Tatum come back in. Tatum came in with about 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. So that was another thing. There was a couple of times. I seen that. I just need Tatum. I read that. SGA was on the bench. We read that. Need better rim protection. Can PB really guard Shea? No. JB should not have played the game before. He looked awful. Needs rest. I think Pritchard did good, but I think Pritchard did okay, but no, he can't guard Shea. No. Late to the party. Hey, buddy. What's up, Clear? Wild game. Yeah, very, very wild game. We hit a lot of threes, but the shot didn't shot too many instead of. That's the mind game, bro. That's the mind game right there. And that's why Mark Daigneault is a really, really good coach. Because you play a certain way in the first half, right? You give up threes. You let them know. And this is how it has to be, right? If you set on that, sometimes you just got to go with it, bro. If we would have hit every goddamn three in that first half, they would have still rolled with it. Because you know what that does in the second half? You're going to take the three. Now, the Celtics fuck around, take the three regardless, because that's just who we are. But there were times in the second half where we had one-on-one advantages. There was a time where Tatum got swung the ball, and Isaiah Joe was in front of him. He just immediately rose up and shot the three. I thought he should have attacked. But when you play a certain way for a half, and they let you do that one thing the entire half, just because they switch their approach in the second half doesn't mean you switch yours. Need better rim protection. Yeah, we need KP. Wait, I just read that. And I noticed. But also there was a lot of like rimmed out threes in the fourth quarter. But I also had no faith in a lot of those in the clutch, and that is the confidence that the opposing team wants you to have when they do that game plan in the first half. And I noticed they played double big in the fourth and it worked. Yeah. Well, you talking about us or them? I'm pretty sure you're talking about them. But yeah, that the versatility of a Chet Ahar lineup is just like they're running pick and rolls together. Like it is what it is. Plus minus is a stat that needs context for sure. That always throw off his rhythm sin to start the fourth. Like, dude, especially in this game where like he answered the bell in the second quarter. And then he came in the third, at the end of the third, and it was just like balls to the wall, like he was insane. I really lobby for some of them times where he just like start him in the fourth quarter, bro, because he came in, had an open mid range, and I could tell that he was just like that. His rhythm was off, like he had to get his shot back. So yeah, there are some times where I would really hope that Joe sees where the game's going. Even though I think Joe is great in this game, I do hope sometimes that he sees that, hey, Tatum is absolutely fucking rolling. So, and I don't want to hear about the minutes thing because he played on 46 against the Lakers. This is that same type of game. So, and then he didn't play the last game. So I don't want to hear about, oh, you trying to reserve minutes. There are games to reserve minutes. I promise you there are games. He just didn't play against the Jazz. That's why he got a bag, left my ass off. He's a great DHO hub and screener. Yeah, Hartenstein is like, he's insane, bro. Shea sails door to door or deserves an Oscar. I wanted to slap him. As a mom, I don't put up with that crap. Man, there was the travel call that Tatum got because he tried to lunge. One, Tatum shouldn't be doing that. Don't try to play his game. Play yours. Two, travel on that call. Do you know how many times I've seen Shea do that exact same shit? And the travel is the last thing they would ever call on that. And Tatum didn't even travel. I don't even think he traveled on it. They just called the shit. If you let it go, because Tatum lunged at the defender, right? You can't do that. Even though some people still get away with that shit. Some people still get away with that. You're not supposed to lunge into the defender. But a travel, that I have never seen a travel called on that. It's either an offensive foul because you lunged, or they just don't call anything. Travel was crazy. But yeah, let me see what else went on. Let me just check some. Okay, see, well, yeah, they did start off 9. They did start off 9-0. Their best lineup. Oh yeah, okay. So all right, look, I'm about to see Shea on off, bro. I need to see Shea's on off, bro, because we did not take advantage of him. We did not take advantage of Shea, when he was not on the court, bro. We did not take advantage of that at all. 3-3. How did the C's get into penalty, bro? Hartenstein got like, the Celtics fouled Hartenstein like 4 straight times in the fourth quarter to start the fourth quarter. Like, them 2 minutes where Tatum was not in the game. I think it was Luke. Luke was definitely in the game, but it was when Shea was out, when Tatum was out. They went Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein. And Isaiah Hartenstein got back-to-back fouls. He got like 6 free throws off the break, and that's when Joe brung Tatum in. I kind of knew once we got into foul trouble with about like 6 minutes left that it was kind of over. Because we weren't going to be able to play the style of defense you need to play against that team, not being able to like, just like worrying about fouling. Like, Jaylen Brown fouled out. Derek White damn near almost fouled out. And I thought, like, Derek White was phenomenal in this game. Like, I don't want to get that. Like, Derek White was phenomenal in this game. That two-way sequence where he blocked Chet and he hit the corner 3 over Hartenstein. Nasty. He hit a lot of them threes in the first half, too. Like, he was, I love what he do. SGA study 2018. Harden, with the way that he initiates contact. The thing that I hate about that is the ones where the defender has their hands like not pushing you, not impeding your path in any way, but he just feels that there's a hand on him and he hooks. That's not basketball to me. I'm not saying when he does it's not basketball. That's not basketball if anybody does it. That's not a shooting motion. You don't do this and go up to shoot the ball. Nobody does. That's not how you shoot a fucking basketball. So they need to take that out from everybody. Not just Shea. It's not a Shea thing. That's not a Shea thing. That's everybody. You shouldn't be able to do that. If you can't lunge forward to get a contact, you shouldn't, like, because that's not a shoot motion. That's why they call offensive fouls when you shoot the ball and you kick your legs out, because that's not your shoot motion, which Isaiah Joe did at the end of the first quarter. They didn't call that. It is what it is. But they're trying to steer away from non-basketball, like non-authentic basketball plays. So when somebody's playing defense on Shea, or just anybody, and they're not fouling you with their hands, but their hands are there, and you have the ball in one hand and you hook under, you can't, and then they called it a shooting foul. The first ref said it was on the floor. And then Shea just knew that he was going to the free throw line. Like he was practicing his free throw even as the referee said it's on the floor. He was already at the free throw line, and then they changed it to where he was shooting. How can you do this and be shooting at the same time? Do you think Luke should ever start shooting threes again? Yes. I think just being able to have that in your back pocket, because I know that Luke can shoot. All of us know he can shoot. But I like the role that he has in this Celtics offense, just like as a phenomenal screener, as the DHO guy, passer, and just like focusing on screening. I like the role he has on his team, but occasionally I think it will help. But what do you think the Celtics assistant coach was screaming at Brown? I feel Brown did alter his play, got more aggressive. I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I think I know what possession you're talking about, but I'm not sure. But he probably was just telling them like, get your head out your ass, like play basketball. But Brown did have an aggressive play before he fouled out. He had that dunk, the straight. Oh my, there were so many east to west dribbles in this game. Like I said, this in my halftime shit where I'm just like, dude, like I refuse to believe that Casey Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander can stop a straight line drive from Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown when they get low and they just drive straight. Those guys cannot knock them off their line, bro. They can't. So if they don't let them, we're gonna get to the rim. And Jaylen Brown, before the offensive possession before he fouled out, he did exactly that. He caught the ball, got low, and two-hand dunk. Especially with the off arm, since that's what I'm saying. What is he shooting with one? You can't shoot with one hand. I mean, you can, but that's not a natural shoot motion. But you got to know not to have your hand in the cookie jar. CP3, Harden, and KD had that rip through down, yeah. But what Harden used to do is the little sweep through move. I think that's different because I've seen players shoot like scoop shots. I've seen that before. I've seen players do the pound dribble, the sweep through into a layup. I've seen that before. I have never seen anybody who was not trying to get a foul hook somebody's arm and shoot the basketball. I've never seen it before. But yes, if like us understanding that Shea does that stuff, you can't have your hand right there. It is what it is. Sam Cassell was telling him how to seal off the defender in the post. Yeah, bruh, the post, like he was allowing smaller people to get the angle on him in the post. Like the Celtics need to work on post entries. They need to work on whoever's trying to get the ball in the post, how to seal a guy off, bro. Use both of your arms. Don't foul him, but elbows, you should have, especially if the guy's smaller than you. Because if Kaysen is guarding Jaylen in the post, he is bigger than him, so he should just be able to wall him off like this without fouling him. And when the ball comes, do what you gotta do, right? I feel like JB and JT need to get their first step on the defenders before driving. It felt like they were having trouble creating that. Yeah. That's what I was saying in the first half, with like them gapping us up. Like penetrating seemed to be hard the entire game, but especially in the first half where they were just giving us threes. Dribble drive was very hard to come by. So, what did I say? I'm like, okay, they're playing really good on ball, right? They're gapping. So, let's get them the ball closer to the basket without them dribbling. So, inbound the ball. Derek White, bring the ball up. Tatum, go to the block. Do some chin action, right? Swing the ball, back screen, Tatum goes to the post, right? Cross screen, flex action, anything, right? If Jaylen Brown is struggling every single time he puts the ball on the floor more than 3 times, why is he still doing it? Huh? Why are you still doing it? Put him in a position where he doesn't have to dribble 5 times. He, as an NBA All-Star and a Finals MVP, he shouldn't have trouble doing that. But some matchups are harder than others. So, cater to your players. One thing that bugged me this year is obviously the post entries, but also just forcing post ups and having it take too long to set up. Yeah. No, I agree because there's sometimes where it's obviously not there, and this is why I like the angle pick and roll to the high ball screen shit a lot, because they do the angle pick and roll right, and it's to get whoever switched so that they can get that switch and they can have a post up at the angle, right? But in case that does not work, they just quickly get into a high screen and roll. They should have did that more because it worked, and it's also a play where, just like you said, they're not focusing on trying to get that post up for so long. So if the post up's not available, they go straight to Jason Tatum or whoever's at the top of the key, and they're getting to a high ball screen. Right? You're not waiting around trying to get the ball in there for 5 to 7 seconds. So here's what it is. Yes, it is effective, but the Tatum high PNR can't be the only action we run for JT. His post up frequency gotta go up since his midi has picked up. Yeah. That's why I said the chin action, the flex screens. We need to mix all that in. Like Tatum needs to be running all that shit. The get Tatum off some stagger screens, like a flip, like anything. Tatum as the screener, as the handler. Like there's so many things. He's such a portable player that you shouldn't have to worry about what actions do we run for Tatum. You can run anything. It doesn't fucking matter. You can run anything. So yes, the high ball screen should not be our only offense. That's part of why I like it being after the ankle pick and roll, because it's 2 actions. But yes, there are other things you can do with Jason Tatum, and we've seen for however many years he's been in the NBA. But this is why I say Oklahoma City is the only team that scares me, that I have a healthy fear of. I don't care about anybody in the East. I won't say I don't care, but I don't think anybody in the East can beat us in a 7-game series. I don't think anybody else in the West can beat us in a 7-game series. The only team that I've been worried about since they got Isaiah Hartenstein is the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's the only team. And it's the brand of basketball that they play. They have a superstar. They have optionality. Mark Daigneault has a chokehold on that team. And they're disciplined. They're disciplined enough where every single player that gets on the court can withstand and execute an entire defensive game plan change from half to half, from quarter to quarter, from possession to possession. They can play man and give up every 3. They can play zone and force us to shoot 3s. In the second half, right, in the first half, they can do those 2 things, then they can gap up, right? Everybody fights on the post angles. Every single Thunder player fights off the ball. Every single player. They made us passing the ball in the post, passing the ball in general. Like when we got certain actions where we're clearly trying to get Tatum or somebody switch on to somebody, and there's a mismatch. They fight like shit to not give that up. Every single person. And then in the second half, when you're like, okay, we let y'all shoot 35 threes, we're done with that now. We're done with that. Y'all not shooting a lot of threes anymore. They have the personnel to do that too. You think JB should have been rested last game, or he wasn't getting it going, or what do you think happened with him today? I just think there's certain matchups that aren't good for Jaylen Brown. I think as a team we could have went about him attacking better, but there are just times where he is just out of control. I felt like he was out of control in this game. Cason Wallace is a really good in your shit defender, even though he's smaller than him. But he makes Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown struggles when he has to dribble a lot. So you will be hard pressed to find in this game where Jaylen Brown scored the ball with less than two dribbles. You will be hard pressed. Jaylen Brown had to dribble the ball 5-6 times, had to spin, had to turn, had to do all that for him to get a bucket. Now, that's usually how Jaylen plays, right? And in past years, he was just so much more efficient at hitting tough shots, and that's a tough thing to do, right? But the way that OKC plays, where they're smaller than you for sure, but they're under your dribble. They're under your dribbles, and Jalen just has to. Again, I don't think they can stop a straight line drive from Jalen Brown where it says, listen, I'm not changing directions. Stop me. You're gonna get some charging fouls, but probably like one a game. Casey Wallace cannot. He's not as strong as Jalen Brown. Nowhere near. But he is loudly quick. He got amazing hands, and he even blocked a Jalen Brown jumper. But one thing I don't think he can do against Jalen Brown is if Jalen Brown says, "Okay, I'm catching the ball, I'm ripping, I'm going straight," he cannot knock him off his line. It's not gonna happen. Were you looking at Drew's finger? I know that he touched it a few times. Okay, I guess I'm asking, did you notice? Did you know any effect on his performance? Sorry, newbie girl asked questions. Don't be sorry. I wasn't really focused on Drew's finger. I was focused on Drew, like his play. But I think that is something that could be, affect him. I didn't see him look at it, so I'm glad you caught that. I know that he touched it a few times. It's probably it could be his finger, or it could also be the tape on it, right? That could also just be affecting like his shot because it may be uncomfortable. Like a little bit of it could be off his finger. Like it could be anything at this point. But yes, I think like there was a couple of threes where I'm like, Drew gotta hit that. And he did take some ill-advised threes too. Let me see. Stats. What did Drew shoot today? Drew had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was a team low -14. 4 for 10, 1 for 7 from 3. Yeah, I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't hear that. Y'all didn't hear that. Just scrap that clip. I ain't say that. Not yet. Drew's not back to form yet. But in the playoffs, we know. His shot like, oh, nah, Drew got to sit until April, man. Yeah, probably. That 3 over, oh my God, dude. I tweet about that, bro. I tweet about that 3 from Drew, where we got the offensive rebound. He didn't take the first one. He pump fake, jab, step back, shot that mud. That shit was the corner of the rim. I'm like, yeah. I don't know about that. But like Drew's game is when he got Isaiah Joe on him. When he, even Kaysen, right? He saw he had them on him, was at the top of the key, said, oh, is it who that? Layup. That's his game, bro. Now, I'm not saying Drew shouldn't be taking threes, but not them threes. He took a couple bad threes. So, I don't know, man. It is what it is. But we need KP for these matchups. And, okay, chat right now. Do you think we should trade KP? Not, do you think the Celtics are going to trade him? What do you think about the KP situation? Because that's all I've been seeing on Twitter is, he's been out with this illness and people are just saying, yeah, he's unreliable. We need to trade him. I don't know what y'all think. Bro, he had a wide open layup one time. Oh, Drew was just making bad decisions because like Drew did the thing that I was talking about where he just backed the guy down and he eventually got an open layup and he passed it out. So his decision making was just a little bit off tonight. KP off the bench or nah? Didn't he come off the bench game 1 in the finals where he went crazy? I wouldn't mind it, honestly. Like, and it's more like it's more feasible when he's coming off an injury because it's like, hey, we're gonna ease him into. So it's just better. It's just better. So, I don't see what we get in return that's better. That's also one thing I believe. He needs a pay cut. Kristaps is such a game changer. No freaking way. That's my thing, bro. That is my thing. That's my thing. Would I like him to be reliable? Fuck yes. Would I like for Kristaps Porzingis to play? Yes. But for this team, where Kristaps Porzingis is a luxury, he can wreck a game, bro. You're not trading Kristaps Porzingis for anybody that can wreck a playoff game, to my knowledge. So that goes back to the argument of I don't see what we're getting in return that's better, right? And it could also be a KP trade for 2 role players, 2 high level role player guys. That's usually the type of trades that like a team in the second apron. Well, shit, you can't. I mean, we can't aggregate contracts, but like, yeah, I just think that he can blow up a playoff game, and he can be unguardable. You're not trading Chris Porzingis for a player that can be unguardable. It's just not gonna happen. He's such an X factor. So, what I want to do now it's twofold because I'm saying this, and he only played 4 playoff games last season. So I'm like, hey, saving for the playoffs. What if he's not available again? Now, if he's not available again in the playoffs, that's something different. But I don't see why I don't see us trading him, and I don't want to trade him because we don't need him in the regular season. Hell, we didn't really need him in the playoffs. But just having a game changer, like I'm not even joking. Like he's an X factor and he's a game wrecker. So I don't know. KP shouldn't be able to play more than 25 minutes. I'm down with that too in the playoffs. My issue with trading KP is who we trading for. Yeah, you just heard what I said. People be saying we train for KD. Like, man, get real. Laugh my ass off. I wanted to do that years ago. I wanted to do that shit years ago. The problem was when they was trying to add in Derek White and all that shit. I wanted to trade Jalen for KD. I did. And I still own that shit. Because I just think KD's better than Jaylen Brown. And I thought, wait, what all season was that? Because was that the one after we lost to the Heat? Like we lost to the Heat 3-0? Was that no. That was the season before that. Okay, I'm sorry. I felt like we had a window, like a real window, and I knew the Jaylen Brown contract was coming up. I think Brown deserves that money. Brown's the finals MVP. He good with me. Now that trade, it doesn't really make sense to do that trade now. But before we won the championship, before all that shit, I wanted to trade him for KD. Because it's Kevin Durant. It's not a disrespect to Jaylen Brown. The only thing that I was seeing was, hey, that closes our championship window a couple years. 100%. 100%. But fucking KD and Tatum, are you shitting me? But it is what it is. That trade now doesn't really make sense for me. We net -1 with JB, JT, White Holiday, KP. Trade KB for Rob 1-for-1. Nah, we can't do that. Nah, we can't do that. We can't do it because it's the same shit, and he's not the same player. But Rob, you know how much I love Rob, so I ain't even gonna go there. Part language, I'm sorry. Nadia before, yeah. The Tatum KD dynamic in would have been weird, but Tatum still turned to the play. Wait, but does Tatum still turn to the play he is now? That's a good question. But do y'all remember when the trade rumors were circulating, right? About like KD for Brown and like White, right? And during that shit, there was a picture like Tatum and KD was working out together. That was low key crazy on a Tatum part. Like I'm not saying you can't work out with Kevin Durant. The timing was just insane, and I know Brown felt some type of way about that. I think him, Brad, and Tatum had like a 3-way call or some shit. Like that, the timing of it was insane, bro. I never wanted to trade JB just because I believed in him, but it is KD. I'm glad we didn't, but JB has got to be better this season. Yeah, like I didn't mind it either way, to be honest. It wasn't something that I minded either way. Like I knew Jaylen Brown was a great player. I knew he was an all-star, all NBA, a fringe all NBA type player. Like I knew that. Everybody knew that. But if you're talking about KD, it's not about what Jaylen Brown can and can't do. Kevin Durant. But the age factor plays in. Like KD being in like having a history of a guy that if he's not in a situation that he likes, he's gonna ruin. Like he's just gonna be like, all right, well, I'm done. All that stuff is true, bro. All that stuff is true. So I really wasn't feeling any type of way about it. If it happened or which it did not happen. But that's a good point. Would Tatum turn into the same player that he is today? I think he would, honestly. Because Because what Tatum has turned into is a guy that does not need to score to be effective. With KD, I think that would have happened earlier, honestly, because KD takes a lot of the scoring load off of Jason Tatum, right? So what else is Tatum doing? He's rebounding. He's guarding the best wing that KD doesn't have to do. He's guarding the five. He's guarding everybody else. He's playmaking, right? So the burden of scoring being left off him on a lot of games that you have Kevin Durant, I think Tatum will still be the same player. But it's just no way to really tell that shit, honestly. Mismatch hunt offense plus Tatum, Kate. Ooh, hey, I'm telling you. But yeah, OKC, man. The way they play defense, the way they're coached, JB plus JT. Do you think that's all that? It's such a famous duo, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it's all that. Especially in games like the Lakers game where they're both on. I do, but it's not the end all be all. If that's what you're trying to say, like, can you win with just Tatum and Brown? No, I I don't think you can have Tatum and Brown and role players. Like, technically, Derek White is a role player, but it's Derek White on this team. Like, KP is he plays well. I probably can't say that, but I think Brad knew that we needed more, and that's why he got Brogdon because we needed scoring off the bench. We need another point guard. Then he was like, okay, we really need to amp this shit up. And it's not really about Tatum and Brown not being able to do it. It's that, like, all these other teams are just trying to load up as best as they can on those two guys. So I'm gonna make their life easier. I'm gonna get Chris Porzingis. I'm gonna get Drew Holiday for playoff moments. For playing defense. Take the load off of my top two guys. So it is what it is. But yeah. 0-2 against OKC. I think we did this last year with Denver. Bro, Denver was this team last year where it was like, man, listen, I don't want to play in the finals. And the thing about Denver last year was the Celtics have so many good perimeter defenders, right? We got Derek White, we got Drew Holiday, we got Tatum, we got Brown. Pritchard is a solid defender, right? But the thing about Denver was I would trust our perimeter defenders more than I trust our interior defenders. So going up against Jokic, that was a death wish. That was a death wish. The Nuggets were the only team we didn't beat last year. The Thunder are the only team we not going to beat this year. So it is what it is. It is what it is. They just present so much shit. They have so much optionality. They have a great coach that has a stranglehold on that team. They have defined roles. Shay's a superstar. And we didn't even see J-Dub. Excuse me. We didn't see J-Dub or Caruso. So you thought this shit was hard for Brown tonight. Let Caruso check him. And then have Kaysen in the gap. He just gotta be better, but they do got some dogs over there. Yeah, for sure. This is how I was feeling about the Nuggets last year. Now we got our double big lineup, so I'm confident with the Nugs. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. We got KP, Al, but still, like, he was throwing KP in the first game. Like, I mean, throwing his ass. Excuse me, shit. No J-Dub, but their role players stepped up, yeah, for sure. Like, their bench showed out. Our bench didn't. Torrey Craig got one stint, passed up an open three, and go sit down. I think in theory this was a Craig matchup because of course he's a better defender than Hauser, but he had a wide open three at the top of the key. Didn't take it. Go sit down. Go sit down. But yeah, if y'all got any more questions, I'm a little sick, so my voice about to stop fucking up in a second. But if y'all got any questions, let me know. We're gonna hop off this for a second. Y'all gonna get a nice film session tomorrow. I really don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly. I might just do a full game jump, but we'll see. But Any questions, LJ? What's up, baby? Um, Again, I appreciate y'all for coming out. I just got here, my bad, cause you got some questions or thoughts on the game before I leave, man. I'm gonna let you have the floor for a second, but yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming out, man. OKC's a problem, and we already knew that though. We already knew OKC was a problem. We already knew OKC was a problem. Wait, is my music on, y'all? Is my background music on, y'all? Nope. I just been dry talking the whole time. Damn. It is what it is though. But hey, appreciate y'all. No music, it's fine. It's okay. I just turned it on, but it don't matter. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, and my mic moving slow and shit like that. Yeah, it's about time, y'all. It's about time. My computer getting hot. Yeah, it's about time. It's about time. Hey, listen, I love all y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all gonna see me tomorrow with the full game, John. I didn't think JB playing bad today was all OKC. I think he'll be better for the playoffs. I do too. Full game recap. Maybe focus on what JB can do better and how Mazzulla can help. Got you. Heart emoji. Let me see if I can put one. Let me see if I can put a heart with a heart at that. Whoa, that's not a heart. That's not a heart. Okay, that's not a heart. Hold on, that's not a heart. No emojis. Fine. What you mean? Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. I see y'all. Peace out, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow.